a review, we'll just start um, knowing ourselves as well. So, who has started anything? Looked through the data, try to even try the targets and stuff like that. Has anybody tried anything?
Yeah, for me, I've tried to kind of import the data, then model it for now. Then for the targets, I'm still working on it. So that's where I am for now, though. But making progress little by little.
That's absolutely why we have this uh, community so that you will be able to make progress. We're not looking for perfection. If we are actually looking for perfection, we wouldn't be here. So we just want to see the kind of progress you've made. If you need assistance in any kind, there are also members in the community that can also render such assistance. As Ashat, please, you have the floor.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much. So I really struggled with the data set this morning because I didn't really know much on Power BI, but I've been able to go over the first few steps like the importing of the data, the cleaning, creation of the time table, and
Date
creating
table.
connection.
Date
So
table.
that's all I did for now.
That's an absolute uh um it's an excellent start, Ashad.
Thank
If
you.
you can create the date table, I think 90% of your work is done. You understand?
Ah,
Yes.
okay.
What's just there now is you and your ideas to start flowing. You understand? The date table is very critical in this assignment you were given to. The date table is very important, and in your date table, you should be able to have your today sales. That means the net sales that is filtered to today. And how you do that is just applying your date table and you equal to today. You calculate your date table and equal to today. It's quite easy. Then for yesterday's sales, you can also do it the same way, the same almost the same formula. What's just the minor changes you have is where you insert a -1 for yesterday. So if you can do that, you've already made two matrices out of a whole lot of other ones that you start doing or you keep doing. So the thing is, we need to just try, you understand? This Wednesday session should have been scrapped. I would have left it and said, no, let's just take it out all at once, you understand? But there is this idle mind that stays with us if we don't practice, if we don't have that little push. That's why the community is here, so that we can all push ourselves. We know what is our challenge. If there's anybody that is still having challenges like loading the data, creating their tables, even trying to know what they want to do, it's something you can come out and say, oh, this is my challenge. How can I sort it out? You understand? That's the main essence of the community. Like I said, I am not teaching you all the tools. I'm not here to teach tools. I'm here to point your mind to things you can do, the things you should do that will make you a better data analyst. We will talk about tools. In short, we will use the tools even in this night. I have something to show to you. I want to show you something very little about the target. Then I would give some disclaimer why the data is as it is. Huh? So, any other person that has done something? Okay. So, without wasting time, I would like us to. I just want to share something with us real quick so that on Saturday we will not spend too much time talking about dashboard. So I want us to take a step in creating our targets. You understand? I just want us to take a step in creating our targets. So, like I said, you are confused. You should ask a question, not this one is more than me. Because when you're at your day job, you cannot a work cannot be more than you. In fact, that's just the truth. When you are at your job, you cannot tell your bosses that this one is more than me. In fact, you would advise your boss if it is impossible, you have seen it that this thing, the technical part of it is impossible to do with a certain tool they want you to do it with, or it will take you more time than they want. In fact, I would put it to you that most of the tasks you get aside building your dashboards, that when the dashboards are live, they can always take whatever they want from the dashboards. Most of the tasks you just come in the morning. Please, I need to see this. I'm going to give you an example of a task I worked on today. I had worked on it previously on a different metric. So today he added two more metrics because it made more sense. We are trying to see opportunity lost by customers by the number of kgs, a particular, all the products, in fact. If they are trying to say, oh, what if we sell the minimum amount of product we sell uh, to the inactive customers that did not buy this product? Let's sell the minimum we give to people. If somebody buys, let's say 0.3 kg, that's the minimum value of that particular product. Let's call that product rice. That 0.3 kg is for rice. Then let's say the minimum kg a person buys in beans is 0.1 kg. They're trying to see, sorry, but this task is not for retail. I know it's a little bit confusing. This tax is for distribution, but it will also come handy in retail as well. So sorry guys. So they're trying to see if the minimum values sold to customers, if we multiply it by the number of inactive customers, then you will know how much opportunity you're missing. If we try to eat into, even if it is 20% of that value, you might end up increasing your sales by as much as 40%. So we did the same value for sales values, we did the same values for kg, and we did it in cartons to see how these values in their minimum, if it is being sold to customers at their minimum. We are not trying to do the entire 100%. We want to try and do 30%, 20%. As you move into those markets, you will claw back some funds that you would have. What you just tell your salesmen at that time is, go give them this product at, just give them the minimum, don't give them all, but now give it to more customers that we are not buying that product. just the minimum. If it's 0.2 kg, give them that minimum, but give it to more customers that are not selling. Yes, there will be some losses, but it will increase your uh, revenue by a little bit more. So what happened is they just came this morning. Please, I need it before 10. We have a meeting now. I need it before 10. We have a meeting. Then you start running around. Where will I get this? Where will I get that? Where will I do this? At that point, you don't have the luxury of time because you might be the person that will make your bosses look bad in the eyes of their own bosses. You know, everybody has an organ in that place. So your guy is somebody's organ, who is also somebody's organ. Even the owners of the company answers to the board members. The board members answers to other people. So everybody has their own bosses. You understand? So let's go now and talk about targets. Now I have given you a target of 2.4 million, right? This target, yes, Mr. Suleiman. Mr. Suleiman, you're raising your hand. Okay, let's continue. I have given you a target of 2.4 billion, and I told you that, okay, Mr. Suleiman, we couldn't hear you. So I think you,
Hello, can you hear me now?
yes, I can.
Hello, good evening, Mr. Chidi and the co-players. Please, I have a question before you continue.
No problem. That's why we're here. It's called follow up.
Yeah, yeah. Please, pertaining the KPIs, I need more explanation on the daily sales and the yesterday's sales.
Okay, the
Hello.
the the functions or the measures rather, sorry.
No, not the no, not the functions, not the functions. The different the meaning of the meaning of the KPIs. What do you mean by today's sales? What do you mean by yesterday's sales?
Okay, what do I mean by today's sales? So, like I said,
Yeah,
most of our dashboards are live. You understand? So, once a sale, a value drops on the database, it reflects automatically on your
mm,
dashboard. So,
mm,
you could as well track what is going on at the moment. In fact, if your dashboard refreshes, if you set the refresh time to hourly, depending on the kind of report, you understand. Some people like seeing their sales
yeah,
2 or 3 times or 4 times being refreshed, you understand. So if sales drop
yeah,
on the database, you see it that day. Now, each day has a target. How we calculate a day's target, different businesses have their different ways of calculating targets. Now, in the food sector business, they don't use working days much as much because the food sector runs completely. I think I will take that out. I am mixing a little bit of a little constraint to where I am currently at. You understand? Yes, I mixed a little bit of that inside it because we use working days. We have working days here. So there are certain days we don't work at all. In fact, the whole business shuts down. So that's why we use working days for that. So the food sector business runs 24, like not 24 hours though, but it runs the whole length of the month. So what happens there is that they break down the targets into the whole month, you understand, equally,
yeah.
equally, you understand. So that's what most of the food service businesses do. But probably
Okay.
another ask your question. Go on. You
Okay,
wanted to
continue.
add?
I don't have any other
Okay.
question.
Another session, probably I might look into the distribution sector and explain the working days. So what the working days does is that your targets are being divided in by the number of working days you have. So you might have in a month, instead of you to have the entire 30 days or 31 days or thereabout, you now have 28 or 26 working days in the month. So in that 26 days, how there is still another constraint to it. That's why you need to listen. Different companies have their different ways of approaching targets. The first place, they divide it completely into the entire 30 days. The second one, they use working days. Now, they don't just use working days, they also approach it in the sense that sales made completely for the month to date are being taken out from the target and divided by the current working day. So it is now seen that they actually want you to meet your target. Like they don't leave any target behind. Those who made uh, 30, 31 days division on the target. So let's say you make 60% the previous day. You understand? That target has been uh, locked at 60% for that day. But what this other idea does is that they push the targets that you haven't met to the following or the next day. You understand? Or the remaining day, working days that you have. So everything you do as an analyst is approaching it with the idea. I know it might be a little bit confusing, but I hope I broke it down a little bit more. So sorry. So when I was trying to get the idea behind this particular logic, I had to write it down. I had to build the model myself on paper before I now took it to the dashboard. If not, you end up destroying yourself. So yes, that particular one is a little bit complex. You take the target. In the target, you now take out the amount that you sold in the target and now divide the remaining targets by the number of working days. So it's just there is a little bit of complexity in it, but businesses use it so that they push. They want you to actually meet the target. So what they will be running on is the monthly target is their goal and not daily targets. So that answers your question about targets a little bit more. So let me just go through what I wanted to show you guys on the targets. Now, so on the target axis, we need to approach it with logic. What do we know? We know we have stores. I said we should break this target into stores, right? I don't want to use the store ID. It looks a little bit fishy. Let's use the store name. Yes. Let's use the store name. Let's use this. Let's use the column. I don't want it. Let me use the total sales value. So we are using net. I was expecting somebody to ask me what is net and what is gross. Nobody has asked because everybody is. Oh my god. So the idea is when you're creating a target for your stores, let's say these are all the stores and the rest of it. Now, we will be able to we'll be able to know how much for the last 3 years each of these stores have contributed to the total sales value, which is 4.6 million, right? It's it's not even for the last 3 years. Let's just use for 2015. Now we see the contribution by stores. You understand? 2025 rather. 2025 is closer, right? Now we will be able to calculate the total percentage contribution by store one down to the last store, which is supposed to be store 60. You understand? Now, it will inform us on how we can divide this 2.4 billion. Reason being that each stores have their strengths. You understand? You can't take a store that have been selling 20 million progression. Let's now add the progression so that you see what I'm saying. You can't take a store that has been selling 10 million, 20 million. You see, 19 million for store one. Let's take store one as our, sorry, this thing takes time to move up. So store one is making 19 million in 2023. In 2024, store one made 24 million, and they made in 2025 they made uh, 29 million, right? So it is ideal that there is a progression, you understand? Now you can choose to overlook these progressions for now. Let's just concentrate on the year 2025 and see how much uh, each of these stores contributed to the revenue that was sold. Let's say store one contributed 10%, store two contributed, let's say, something like 8%. From this your 2.4 billion now, you are apportion 10% of 2.4 billion to store one because that's their new target. I think it's clear now. You are apportion your new target values based on the percentage contribution by store, and you share it to them. Now, what some managers can do, they might not use the target set by the company. They might push it up a little bit so that they push you to achieve more, you understand? Yes, the company has a 2.4 billion target. You will never see this value. So what will they push to you? They will tell you that the company has a 2.8 billion target. What it just does there now is check the contribution of this store and push that percentage to them. They get their percentage and they start working on it as their target. You will do the same thing to product. You will do the same thing to salesmen, in the sense that the percentage contributions of those products will be now how you view their target. So certain times you get to check your targets because as we go forward, we'll have to check targets as well. We have target by region, target by regional managers, target by product. Those are three key targets we check. So once you check those three key targets, you can now arrive at, oh, we are doing good as per product. Then another crucial and very important target. No matter how you see sales going up, if the sales quantity values are not also matching up, you are tend to also be losing. Let me explain. Quantity is more important than revenue value. My wow, I'll come back to your uh, uh, questions. Quantity is more important than revenue values. There are a lot of things that push revenue. Exchange rate push revenue. Uh, Price increase, yes, a lot of companies approach, once you see exchange rate goes up or something happens to the economy, companies will not want to bear all the losses. The only thing they think of at then will be to increase the price of the goods. Once you increase the price of the goods, there is an inverse relationship with the quantity. Once the price of goods are being increased, you start seeing the quantity of that particular product dropping drastically. But there is something that still happens. Your quantity is dropping, but your revenue is increasing. Who can explain what happens in that situation? Your quantity is increasing, your revenue is increasing, but you still see every day your quantity is reducing. The quantity people buy is now reducing. Does anybody have an idea what do you think has been going on inside there? I need feedback, guys.
I think I think maybe the company increase the price of their goods.
Yeah,
So that's why the quantity is kind of reduced. Maybe people are not buying too much of quantity because of the price increasement.
very good answer. Ayobami.
Okay, I think that's basically what I wanted to say too. They are buying lesser quantity, but then their revenue
They
is
are still they
increasing.
are
So
still
it's not like they are not
matching the same price they bought it for. So you find
yes,
out that, let's say,
yes.
yes, average order value, they are buying premium goods. So somebody said I was using too much grammar. I'm trying not to use the grammar they use to align all of these things. Yes. So the quantity they buy has reduced. Now it's more like they are what they used to buy like three products before, they use it to buy one. So instead of them to buy three as they used to, or four, or five as they even used to before, they now buy two. And you now see that, oh, because they are now buying two, what happens? It is now matching to what they had before. You are having increased revenue, but the quantity they buy is reducing. At that time, the company is also on the revenue side, they are doing well. But you would also see and notice that you're losing customers. Then we'll now go to the marketing team. Marketing team, what can we do to bring back this customer? Marketing team will say, let's produce a less cheaper goods that will help draw back those low buying customers, customers that don't have too much to spend on these premium products, according to Mr. Zim. So at that point, you approach business, you look at business from the business side. You, as a data analyst, will be the person to be analyzing those information and be pointing it out to them. Oh, we are losing customers. We are losing customers. We are losing customers. Last week, how do you get your customers? Number of invoices. Last week, we had about 500 to 600 invoices. This week, I think we just have only 300 invoices. But we sold more than the previous week. What has happened? Those other 200 have looked for one Mama Yabo joint so that they can satisfy their craving. After all, I was spending too much. I didn't even realize that I've been spending too much. This lady will just put, she will give me big meat, big, but you people will be holding it back, you understand? So all the things comes through your analysis. You will try to claw back those people with either creating a subsidized meal. That's why you see sometimes it's not because the business doesn't want to create premium meals. They are looking at the people that are buying it. Can What's the average spend of people in this area? Yeah. You also look at it. You go to let's say somewhere like the GRA, the prices there might be different to the prices that you have in let's say a downtown area. You understand? So that you keep your customers happy. You understand? So all this comes into play. I hope I've been able to not confuse you in this target area, and I will see a lot of people making their targets today, tomorrow, before the Saturday session. So I think this is what I have for you guys today. Any communication, anything you want to add? Me, I'm also learning too. If you teach me something now, and I will take it with great joy that I've learned something too. So, like I said, today's session
Okay.
should be very, 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 very short.
Okay, sir, thank you so much. I'll just say I learned one thing basically. I learned something, not just one thing. I used to think that the revenue is more important than quantity. Most times when I carry analysis, I used to feel like the quantity was more important. I'm sorry, the revenue. But from your class today, I learned that the revenue, the quantity is better than the revenue. Thank you, sir.
Yes. Those in supply chain, they don't really look at your revenue values too much. They are more concerned about quantities because that's what hits their their supply basket. Let's put it that way. Huh? Because let's say uh, for them to produce one meal, they have 2 kg of rice for a particular type of rice. Let's call it Indian rice. Let's call it Indian rice. 2 kg of this Indian rice can have 0.1 kg of tomatoes, 0.1 kg of pepper. So they have that calculation within them. So let's say a store has sold 300 kg of rice on that day. And you know that what they have in their production or their storehouse is something that will only take them for another 100 kg. I hope you're getting what I'm saying. Another 100 kg of rice. If that store eventually ends up not selling that product, there are fines. A lot of these retail businesses, they attach fines to the store manager that trickles down to the the buyers, the supply chain people, because you're supposed to watch that stock, and you as a data analyst in the supply chain level will be the person that is tracking that stock to know when the stock level of this particular store is down, because most of the times not all systems are being properly engineered. If not, it is once this value is being sold from your system, a good company that uses Dynamics, I know Dynamics has a lot of infrastructures that work like this. Once you sell 1 kg, it affects the warehouse directly. It takes out the complete components of sales from your supply. So if your supply is going down, you're seeing it's impacting just the same way your revenue values are showing for the revenue and sales team. The procurement, the sales, the supply chain, they're also seeing stock going down so that they can replenish. Now, they also have what they call replenishment rate and the rest of it. Probably when we are talking about the supply chain area, we'll actually talk about that as well. So, like I said, today is just for us to meet, greet ourselves, learn one or two things, go back and re-strategize how it would affect uh, our analysis going forward. So, Ashrat, you have something to say. Sorry.
Oh, please, I wanted to ask something.
Yeah.
Uh, it's about the what's it called, the uploading of the data. We are using four, that's four tables, 213, 214, 225, and 26.
Yes.
So my question is, what's the best practice in loading this data? Like, what I did was, once I load it, then I append, because the tables have the same column names. So what I did was to append the what's it called? The other
You
table, like
combine.
yes, like 214, 215, and 2024, 2025, 2026.
Yes.
I combine them with 2023. So
Yes, that's
it
what
makes
happened here too. If you see,
okay.
that's what happened here. Then I added the store summary table so that I can have store names. I also added the product summary table so that I can also see my analysis by, oh, sorry, it's not showing. Uh, Let me show you from here. So I'm going to just quickly run you guys through for those of you that are having issues uploading the data. Should I do it so that you just see how it works? Should I? Okay. So for those of us that are having issues loading our data, first of all, you would have placed your files into a particular folder. So I placed my sales. Oh, so sorry. I think I have to share my entire screen. Hold on. Hold on. I just want to take out one personal thing close to the data so that we can all benefit. So we are here. So the first thing I did was to create a folder, call it sales, and I sent all the um, files I need to send into the folder. Next, okay, these other ones are separate files, so I just left them as it is. I'll call them as CSV because they don't have same header. Before you try this folder, importing your data via folder, make sure they have the same header. That's just the one of the constraints there. So we go to our Power BI, go to more, see folder, say connect. Now it's asking for the path of the folder. So from here, I don't know why this stuff is slow this today. So I make my way to the path where I've already stored the files. So it's here, here, here. Look at the folder. I just clicked on the sales folder where I kept it and OK. I click OK again. Now I like to view what I am combining, appending, or anything. You could as well go from here straight to load, or go from combine to transform data, or you just go to transform data. Sometimes when you have a lot of folders, you need to or different files or folders inside another folder. So what the best thing to do at that point is to transform data. But right now, let's just combine and transform data. If we combine and transform data, to take us to Power Query, where we would have to view the, okay, first of all, okay, let's skip this step. Okay, it's open here, sorry. So this is the file. I seen it. It has now combined all the tables, all the files that have same header together for you. What you just need to check, confirm that your header is placed well, then you do your normal check around the data types so that you confirm if everything is as it should be. If everything is complete, you can just close and apply. Sorry guys, I can't understand why my system is a little bit slow today. So the next thing I do before I close and apply is bring in the other files. Like I said, I have product summary, and I click OK. Our product summary is here. You check the data as well again to confirm if it is as it should be. Okay, since that is done, you can still go, and I might use recent sources because I've been using it, but for now, let's use text CSV. So the next is regional managers CSV. so that I can have regional manager names. Now you see the regional manager CSV, the headers are not well placed. So you can move your header. Sorry. We still have one more to bring, right? Text CSV. We are bringing store summaries. So guys, as you can see, we have been able to bring uh tables we need completely. Next thing is to close and apply and allow it to load. It's supposed to load. Yes, it's loading. In some cases, it builds the model for you, the connections. So what you have to do is confirm that it follows a proper star schema model. So if it follows that, you don't have a problem. Where I have problem is using many to many. You might need to force validation on your data. So always confirm that when you're using many to many. So see, it has built the model for us, and I know most of you can take it up from here now. So we've actually done part of what we are supposed to do on Saturday. See, so would enjoy ourselves with the project. Please stay true to the game. Play the game. Don't look for perfection. Like I said, we are not looking for perfection. We want you to show up, constantly show up. Most of us did not get to where we are hiding. Yes, there have never been any day since I have been in the data space or week that I did not open my laptop, and I'm not kidding you. There have never been any day or any week I've not opened my laptop. If I don't open my laptop, it might be 1, 2, 3 days, then you're back to work. So, Ashat, your question.
Yes, thank you so much for the explanation. So the thing is, when I was uploading, I only uploaded the 2023 to 2026 data set. So now my question is, so what's the essence of uploading this dim data set? I don't know if you get
So
me.
let me show you in this analysis here. Now we have created connections. You understand? You're showing it because these store names you find here, these ones here, are not on that sales table. Another thing I'll show you, instead of store names this time, let's go to dim dimensions. That's what is dim. Dimensions product summary. Let's go to category. You see, in your sales table, you don't have burger, chicken, dessert as category. So once you import those other tables and create your relationships properly, you find out that your tables will be functioning properly. Now, because of the connections, you can now say, oh, this is a one to one. There is a perfect match here. That's why you're seeing this. So, this is what you're supposed to look out for. Any other question? Our time is almost. Any other question? Any other submission?